How's it going, guys? Thanks for tuning in again this week. Um, just let everybody know for every like that I get this week, you will be receiving a high quality roll of toilet paper. Just playing. Hope everybody's doing good. I know everyone's kind of bottled up right now in their houses, probably, depending where you're at. But it's going to be a short and sweet message this week. I kind of wanted to just close up. We were talking about Moses and how it led into Joshua and to the promised land. You know how last week we talked about why Moses didn't go into the promised land because people were scared of giants and stuff. But let's just talk a little bit about the transition from Moses to Joshua. So as you know, Moses didn't get to see the promised land. But he did from a mountain, but the torch was passed to Joshua. God told him to. If you can look at Deuteronomy 31, 1 through 5. I'm sorry, Deuteronomy 31, 1 through 5. This is when Joshua succeeds Moses. Some pretty interesting things, actually, I wanted to show you. So when Moses died, and when Joshua succeeded, he was 120 years old, right? So if you remember, you go back to Genesis. I thought this was really cool. It's like a little side note. Genesis 6, it says. Genesis 6:3 says, "The Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years." So it's pretty cool. So God pretty much tells Moses, go on top of this mountain. You can see the land, but it's time for you to die, pretty much, up here. And when it says, let's see, I thought this was really cool. In Deuteronomy 34, verse 7, it says, Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were undimmed and his vigor unabated. So Moses wasn't feeling like crap. He was feeling great. I've looked at some translations that said he was just as strong as he ever was, and he had no vision problems. So I thought it was pretty cool that God pretty much said in Genesis, I'll only be with man for 120 years. So who knows, maybe if you live to 120 years, you'll get to, have a special meeting with God or something before he unplugs the CPU. But I just thought that was a cool side note. I know this is pretty short and sweet this week. I just wanted to get into Joshua because he got to actually enter the land, the promised land, and begin the taking over of the promised land. If you go to Joshua 11, verses 21 through 23. So this is, excuse me, the name of the chapter of 11 is Conquest in Northern Canaan. So from what I've looked at and certain stuff, looks like the maps that I've looked at online and stuff, it looks like there was a large region of giants in Canaan, and I believe in some spots it calls it like the hill country, where they're kind of everywhere. But if you go to Joshua 11, 21 through 23, it reads this. And Joshua came and Joshua came at that time and cut off the Anakim. Remember, we looked at those were giants. From the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country. There's that hill country I was telling you about. Of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua devoted them to destruction with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod did some remain. So Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses. And Joshua gave it for inheritance to Israel according to their tribal allotments, and that the land had rest from war. So I thought that was pretty amazing. So that was Joshua's time kicking some butt. But I thought that was really cool. Obviously, the Giants aren't done because we know that, if you read some, we'll get into it, but Samuel and King David will have their run-ins. Everyone knows the David and Goliath story, but it's pretty cool. I actually cannot wait to dig into the story of King David and Samuel. They did some pretty incredible things and fought some things that are described in there. But yeah, I know that was short and sweet. I just wanted to close out that part. You should go look back and read that. It's really pretty cool. Once you understand what certain names mean, you know that they're literally talking about giants. But another cool note about all this fallen angel stuff and giants, I wanted you to go to Matthew 24, verse 37. And we'll kind of close with this, because this is really interesting and pretty cool. So, this is when Jesus is talking about nobody knows the day or hour that he will be returning. But this is really cool. I'll go ahead and read everything, but I'll tell you what sticks out. But concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. For as were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For on those days before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage. So if you've seen the first videos, we kind of talked about what was going on in the time of Noah. So this is cool, scary, super interesting, but for as were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. So when Jesus comes back, what in the world is going to be going on here, literally? I always thought it's pretty crazy. You should go look and read that yourself. And if you haven't seen the other videos, read Matthew 24, verse 37, and then go back and read Genesis chapter 6. But pretty short and sweet this week, guys. I encourage, during this time, a lot of people are just stuck at home, and I encourage everyone to, spend some time with the big man. For the first time in a long time, probably 100 years, the nation, probably the world is undistracted. As the Bible talks about, the world's full of distractions. I encourage you, if the big man's been telling you to do something like I'm doing now, or something similar, I encourage you to do it. Maybe somebody wants or needs to hear what you need to say. But I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here, and I will see you next time.